Hey guys, so it's a little bit past 4 o'clock. Yeah, I'm perpetually late anyway, so it's probably no surprise that I'm actually a little bit late coming on live. I don't know how you're all doing today. I don't know why my voice did a really strange sound then. I've got a short sleeve t-shirt on because I'm having some sort of allergic reaction. It sucks, but it happens about once a month. I have allergic reactions because my skin is shit, and it's hormonal. So when I'm during my period, yes, this is something that you all want to know. I get rashy neck and under my chin, and actually it's on my arms this time, which is nice. Thanks, anxiety, for adding to the hormones. I'm not really feeling anxious now, but because anxiety and all those sort of things actually, for me, they go into my body and they come out in my skin. And my skin is a good indication of how I had been feeling or how I am feeling and what fuckery my hormones are up to. Anyway, I just want to say thank you to all those that have actually watched. I know it literally is me talking bollocks for like 20 minutes or for whenever I run out of words, which actually that probably means I could probably talk for 24 hours because I never really run out of words. I just want to say thanks for the thanks messages. You know who you are if you've sent them. I'm glad it's helping some people in a weird way. Because this is all weird. It's all very odd and very out of the ordinary. And who knew that when we watched films like Contagion and other pandemic films, that this would actually kind of be like something that would actually happen in our lifetimes. I thought it'd at least be the kids' lifetime and I would be dead, and that would have been all right, because I feel like I've given them skills, the 3 children that I have. You know, they all have done a martial art. One of them does a martial art with me still. Imogen, we decided we'd probably just sacrifice her because she's a bit of a screamer, so that sounds awful. But yeah, we did discuss it with her and she pretty much did the same thing, so yeah, she's good with that. How are we all doing? I'm doing all right today. I thought I hadn't slept as long as I had, and I went to sleep at 12:30 because I've just got back into watching True Blood. And True Blood is, if you've never seen it, go watch it, especially if you like lots of hot toddy, so much hot toddy. Oh, our seed. Anyway. And so I went to sleep a little bit later than I thought, but it was only about 12:30, 1:15 by the time I went to sleep, and I woke up at 1:45 this afternoon. And I had dreams, but I think talking yesterday and just acknowledging to sit with my anxiety, that this is out of the ordinary, that this is all a bit weird, actually helped, and I slept better last night. I did still have fucked up dreams, but then I also often have fucked up dreams. In fact, I don't know about you guys, but I remember dreams from back to when I was about 2. Apparently that's quite unusual, but some people are like that. I've had some amazing dreams, and I also had some really terrifying dreams. For years I had werewolf dreams that were absolutely terrifying. Anyway, I hope you're all doing better today. I've actually done some tidying up, and I've cooked a dal, which I don't eat, but I like to cook, so that others will eat it, and I'll make myself a lasagna later because I fancy lasagna. And while I was going through my cupboards, and going, hang on, I'll come back to the cooking in a minute. Yes, Faye, I have used Rescue Remedy, but actually I have funky dreams every single night. I always have, and I think I always will. I think let me explain it. I talk a lot, always have, always will, but that's not most of the thoughts in my head. And all of the thoughts in my head are all of the time, continuously. So even when I am actually having conversations with people, and I am listening, don't get me wrong, I'm also thinking about tangents of those conversations. So for me, I actually have to kind of settle down in front of people to not constantly interrupt, because I have an idea and then my brain goes off in a tangent. I have to make myself not do that because it's kind of rude, isn't it, to interrupt constantly, even though I think I'm probably known for being a bit lively during a conversation. And that's just who I am. So my dreams, I think, do the same thing. And anything that I thought during the day or anything that I've wondered about. So yesterday I was looking up camping equipment, because there's quite a few websites that are having camping sales. Yes, I know, to those of you watching that know me, that I said years ago that I'd never go camping. And actually in the last few years I've been camping quite a lot. I quite like it. It's quite cheap. It does get a bit cold, but I just take shitloads of blankets and my duvet. So, and a hot water bottle. That's very important. And if anybody out there is actually getting rid of a double, not airbed, the air mats, the mat things, I'll buy it off you because I really want one. But they're like 200 quid on the websites I've been looking at, and that's too much. So back to the dream things. I was looking at camping equipment yesterday and thinking about the dogs have just had their flea treatment. And so, of course, last night I went camping to France, but I camped on a boat on the way there. It had camping pods and the dogs were with me. So my brain does these things where at night time it just goes, okay, whatever we didn't talk about to other people yesterday or whatever we did get down on paper somewhere, we're going to go and dream about, which is cool most of the time. A few years ago, I had nightmares every night for pretty much 2 years. Because for those of you that know me, know that I got diagnosed with complex PTSD a few years ago, which thankfully I don't have anymore, but it did give me absolutely terrifying nightmares where I'd actually wake up sobbing. Thankfully, they've gone now, and that would be nice, wouldn't it? So back to the cooking. So I did some cooking and I looked in my cupboards today and I realised that even though I haven't been out shopping for a week, we did get a delivery yesterday via, I think it was Uber Eats, from a cost cutter, which was ridiculously expensive, but we just literally wanted to do a few things. We still don't have bread that anybody likes and cheese, although I like the bread, the kids don't. So I was looking through my cupboards and realising that even though we have not as much as we normally have, we also have a lot of stuff still. We still have a lot of things that we can make recipes from and cook from. We just don't have the convenience things where, I mean, we do have crisps because I'm still, they're still sort of in my bedroom hiding, and the whole family is only allowed one big packet of crisps a day. So between 5 of them, that's not that much. But it's kind of tough. It's like we can't go out. Well, Connor can go out, but he's, not up. And I realised that the things that we want and the things that we need are incredibly vastly different. Like, all of us want to be outside, doing work, doing the normal everyday things. I want to be going to the gym. I want to go to samurai school. I actually want to go work, because I do actually like most people at work. But the need right now is to do what we're doing. And wants versus needs are very hard for us to get our head around, because we're used to a society where we want something and we go and do it, or we buy it, or we want a takeaway, we get a takeaway. We want something, and we live in a society where we can immediately have that want met. I mean, there is social, moral things to wants and needs and buying things. But wants and needs what we need is a very basic level of things, according to Maslow's hierarchy. Go look it up. I couldn't be bothered to Google it and print it out and show you. But our needs are quite different from our wants. And when we actually want something, what we do is we sometimes stick ourselves in the hole of the wants hole, rather than understanding the difference between the wants and needs. I think I'm explaining this really badly. So I want to be out going to swimming and the gym, but it's not necessary to my life. It is necessary in the way that it is to my mental health, because I find exercise is massive in my mental health, and I'm sure it is for loads of other people out there. Being out and about for me, talking to other people, is also really important for my mental health. And I think yesterday when I thought, is this actually sort of doing anything? And then I got a few messages from a couple of people saying, you know, it's helping. Well, fuck it, I'm going to carry on doing it then. Even if there is only however many of you watching. Because actually, if it helps one of you and it helps me talk about my shit too, then we're just doing what we need to do, don't we, really? So, at the moment, we're all losing a lot of things, aren't we? We're all losing seeing each other, going out. We're losing the things that we want. And some of those wants are actually needs. It's the difference between whether we need them to breathe. So a need is we need to breathe, we need to eat, for example. And a want is socialising, and for me, you know, going swimming. But they do kind of cross over a little bit in that for our good health, mental health and state of mind, we've become a society that we just don't sit with ourselves. And I find sitting with myself really difficult. Without going into a massive thing about my whole life, I came from a place where I had massive amounts of fear as a child and massive amounts of hydrocortisone. That's why it goes to my skin when I get anxious or hormonal. And that sucks, but it's just what it is, isn't it? And sitting with what it is and sitting with ourselves and finding our worth from ourselves, for me, is actually really difficult. I don't know about you guys. I don't know how many of you actually are not coping very well because you are alone, or you're not meeting up with people that feel that need in you to get how you feel about yourself from other people. Now, I spent a really long time, probably 45 years, if I'm honest, not feeling like I was worthy of being loved. And that does make me feel really emotional, because I feel like that should have been given to me as a child. And then I feel like it should have been given to me as an adult. And actually, it didn't get given to me because the only person that could give it to me was me. And the help of Dr. T, my therapist, from, a year ago. We really worked on some stuff to do with that. And I realised by sitting with it and talking about sitting with it yesterday, that we do have to remember that all of what we need should actually come from ourselves. And that puts it down to a really basic level, and I'm sure there's people disagreeing with me right now, but it's true. And it's true at a really basic level. We should be given the tools and the toolkit, and this is a mental health toolkit, to be able to know how to settle ourselves, how to settle our anxiety. And often, you know, there are no bad emotions. That's the thing. Even describing emotions as bad is not great, because emotions just do what they are going to do. Your brain is really clever, and there's a part of your brain called the amygdala. The amygdala controls your emotions, and it will control them in a fight, flight or freeze situation. Now, freeze isn't spoken about very much, but often freeze is the most used part. We talk about fight and flight a lot because it comes into, like, flight would be people running away from conflict, moving towns to avoid conflict, like not actual war zone conflict, like family breakdown and things, and fight is an obvious one. There's so much violence that fight is something that a lot of people see and a lot of people copy, because it's the easiest thing to do, isn't it? Freeze is an interesting one, because freeze can be things like just not doing something, not taking control of something, not speaking out to somebody, not sticking up for yourself. In my case, freeze was actually, I would walk along the street and think that I had seen my ex-abuser, and I literally would freeze. I would stop breathing. It's not funny, but I must have looked like such a plank, because I just would stand there and actually literally, like mid I remember once mid-air with my phone like this, I was trying to look for some music on Spotify or something, and I looked up, I glanced up, and I actually stopped breathing. And I felt like I was going to vomit. I stopped breathing, and I literally paused. It was like a statue. It's like we're playing a game of statues, which is only funny because I like I say, I must have looked such a plank. So all of these things that we've got going on now, I think acknowledging feelings and emotions and giving them a space is so important. Giving all ourselves a space right now to just be whatever it is, whether that's angry, so fight, whether that is ignoring it and just kind of not dealing with it, that's flight, or just not doing something and not acknowledging that you're not doing something, that's freeze. And like, human emotion is so important, and it's so important to recognise all of our human emotions. I am sure, like me, you've all gone through so many different human emotions at the moment. I'm missing people madly. You know, this time of year has been weird. I had my first Mother's Day without my grandmother, so I was kind of grieving at the same time all of this started going on. And I you know, it's not having the feelings, just have them anyway. Today I am actually going to crochet. I'm not going to slowly say that I'm feeling all better. I've actually started coughing again a little bit more, which is weird because I wasn't really yesterday. But I am going to crochet, and I am going to probably watch... I'm watching 3 programs at the moment. You tell me what you guys are watching, and maybe when I finish those, because we're all not going out anytime soon, are we? I'm watching Westworld, the new season 3. I'm also watching old episodes of True Blood, which, oh my God, True Blood, as I said before, hot toddy on there. And what's the other one? Oh, The Good Doctor. So 3 quite random things. I've bought Now TV while we're in, and the kids' dad has bought Disney Plus. So yeah, we're all just watching a large amount of telly. But I am going to start finishing crocheting some blankets. And if anybody is interested in my crochet, I am on Instagram as f.a.b. crochet, I think it is, and it actually stands for fucking awful blankets, which is kind of not because they're awful, but just because it's quite funny that they're sort of awful, but they're not. They're awful because I'm such a lazy cow, and I don't want to, that I haven't learned any other patterns or many other stitches. So yeah. So right. So that's the 3 things I'm going to watch today, and I'm sort of taking it in turns, with one episode for one thing, and then one episode for something else on another thing. Just because they're all quite different. So you've got sciencey, you've got fantasy, blood, gore, sexy stuff, and you've got The Good Doctor, which is actually about a doctor that's autistic in America, and he's not always right about everything, but it's just quite, you know, it's just a bit shit to watch, but I enjoy it. And anyway, you all have a good day, and a good afternoon, and yeah, I'll probably just carry on doing these. It's up to you with your watch, isn't it? But stay sexy and don't get murdered. That's from a podcast called My Favourite Murder, which Sam, as you know, you suggested it, and I am currently still obsessed with it, working my way through something like, I think it's up to 170 episodes on Spotify. But see you later, guys. Have a good day. Bye.